Hi guys, today is Monday, May the 16th. Well, Smallville's final episode was Friday night. Yeah, at this point it's been over for 3 days. So I thought, why not? I'll do a video, kind of like how I used to do back in the early days of when I created this channel. Yeah, because I won't ever get the chance to do this ever again. Obviously, it was the final episode, so so I figured, why not? And well, yeah, here we are. So I guess I'm just gonna I guess I'll just talk about like the things I particularly liked about the finale, and some of the things I disliked about it, in particular. I guess I'll start with the things I really liked first, and well, number one, obviously, Clark finally learned how to fly. I think a lot of people have been waiting for that moment for quite some time now. Probably since at least the eighth season, probably. Especially since the 8th season. But yeah, it's been 10 years in the making that he finally was able to fly, because I mean, it was actually I believe it was the last. Well, it was the last ability he developed and was able to do. Pretty much, I mean, most of the other abilities he has that that he uses as common to Superman, Clark's pretty much had since. I mean, some of them has been since the first season, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite a while. Since he last learned one of his abilities, but. Yeah, it was pretty cool though. Well, anyway, number two was, Lex finally came back, even though it was only for like maybe 3 scenes. It was nice to see that Michael Rosenbaum was able to just fall back into the role just as well as he did, back in the day when he was a series regular and everything. I mean, I've got to say, Michael Rosenbaum is most likely my favorite non-comic Lex Luthor ever. I mean, I don't know, this Smallville's version. I don't know. You can just tell. He has a certain vibe to him that he's dangerous and not somebody you would really want to mess with. He just reeks of evil and everything. I don't know. I can't quite explain it, but I don't know. It's like he just has a certain vibe to him. I mean, it's like, if you feel this version of Lex felt a lot different from like previous, live action Lexes. I mean, especially compared to between this version and the one from Lois and Clark. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could just say though, obviously it's like the actor is bringing different stuff to the table and everything, but. And let's see. Yeah, this was probably my favorite scene in the episode. The last thing I really liked about the episode is the very end of it. Like probably like the last 15-20 seconds of the episode. Where like Clark, where it flash forwards to the future, like several years in the future, and something's going on, and Clark rushes up to the roof of the Daily Planet, and it pretty much ends almost exactly the way I always knew it was going to end, where Clark was going to start rushing towards the screen, ripping open his shirt to reveal the Superman symbol, and that's pretty much how the episode ends. Which I don't know, I just really enjoyed that, finally being able to see that. But yeah, those are the 3 things I in particular liked about the episode, that I really loved and everything. Well, of course, there were a few things I disliked as well. Number one, probably the thing I disliked the most about it was the fact that they mind wiped Lex, and he lost all of his memories that he had from the entire series and everything. So pretty much every bit of character development he had, he completely forgot about. Basically, he killed Tess, and before she died, she did something to him. I don't remember. I didn't really catch what she did to him, because I was kind of diverting my attention between Smallville and my my 5-year-old niece at the time. But I call that she did something to him, and he from whatever it is she did, he lost a lot of his memory of past events, which I don't know. I didn't really care for that. I mean, I'm sure if I was writing this down, I could sit back and really think about exactly the detail into detail why I didn't, but I think it basically just amounts to that. I mean, I don't know. It just I didn't like the fact that just like all the character development he had went down the toilet basically. Yeah, and I mean I get some part of the reason why they may have done that, but like, well, some people say like, well, Lex can't know that Clark is Superman and vice versa. But I mean, but still, if that was the case, then I mean, do you know how many people have seen Clark, without his glasses and would instantly recognize him? I mean, even Toy Man knows Clark is Superman. So I mean, I just think it's kind of stupid that Lex, especially given the scene prior to his memory getting erased between him and Clark in his burned down mansion. I mean, going all that dialogue, I mean, it just seems so wasted now that just like a scene or two later he lost his memory. But whatever. I mean, some people have have pointed out though that Lex has lost his memory in the past, and he probably has like a lot of detailed logs and stuff like that about different stuff over the years. So he very well may get his memory back or learn stuff he forgot or whatever. So I guess it could balance out if you really want to go that route. Anyway, number 2 was basically the fight against Darkseid, or specifically the lack thereof. This was probably for a series finale, that had to be the weakest battle I've ever seen. I mean, if you can even call it a battle, because I really don't even know if you could or not. Basically, Darkseid had possessed Lionel, and towards the end, Darkseid, as Lionel, approaches Clark in his barn, and this is also the scene that Clark, learned how to fly, and well, Darkseid as Lionel, attacked Clark and tossed him across the room, and in the process, time or whatever slowed down, and Jor-El started talking to Clark, saying, and Clark started having all these flashbacks from throughout the series, and Jor-El explained how all of these were part of his trials, and blah blah blah. This is the last one, so forth. And pretty much it was then that Clark stopped, and we saw him hovering in air, and and then at that Clark flew at Darkseid, and Darkseid disappeared in a puff of smoke, and that was the entire battle. Honest to goodness. And then Clark flies off, and later on at the end, pretty much flies off and pushes Apocalypse away from Earth, and it starts floating off, and that's the entire battle. It was pretty dumb, I think. I mean, I hate to say that, but especially considering this was the series finale, it was. I found it really lacking. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, okay. I mean, from a outside point of view, maybe they didn't have the money for like a big to do or whatever, but I mean. But goodness, people, where was the imminent danger to this? I mean, that was another problem I had with it, because, I mean, you've got a freaking planet hovering over Earth, fire pits filled with evil beings, tortured, a godlike being that's a dictator and searching for the anti-life equation, which can strip the free will from any living being. And you're telling me you fly into him, poof, and that's victory. Oh my gosh, I mean, I don't know, that still just bugs me. But, I can overlook it though. But the last thing I didn't really like about the finale was that the action parts or whatever, it seemed a bit too rushed for me. There is way too much talking, especially during the first half of the finale. I mean, it was more or less just they were all just. Well, I don't want to say they were always practically standing around talking, but I mean, what else can you say though? I mean, the best battle in it in the episode was between Oliver and Clark though in the church while he was under the influence of the darkness. That was the only real fight scene in the episode, unfortunately. The only real fight scene, I guess. Maybe Tess if you want to be technical, but yeah. While he was under the cover, while he was under the control of the darkness, he almost caused Clark to lose all of his powers for good, because Darkseid and his minions, they were able to get a chunk of gold kryptonite and they formed it into a wedding ring. And had Clark put it on at his wedding, he pretty much would have lost all of his power. Fortunately, Chloe, though, paid enough attention to it that she realized what it was and stopped it just in time. And that's when pretty much the fight ensued. Yeah. Yeah. John Schneider came back, for the final episode, which was pretty cool. He was always pretty awesome as Jonathan. Yeah. That's really the whole episode for me. I think that what I really wanted to talk about. Yeah, what I liked, the three things I liked, the three things I didn't really care for a whole lot, or let me just say I was disappointed in. I mean, but that's just my opinion, though. I mean, like anything else, you'll find whatever opinion you have, you'll find 10 other people who will disagree with very much so with. So, take what I say with a grain of salt, obviously, just like with anybody else. I mean, am I saying the final episode was bad? Heck no. I mean, that was probably the most excited I have ever been in a long time. And even then, holy crap, I watched a video last night, or this morning, whenever it was, where, it was last night where this guy was recorded himself watching the final scenes of the episode. Wow. Man, whoever that guy was, he was excited. I mean, saying he was excited though is an understatement. But yeah, they pretty much wrapped up everybody. The only thing one other thing I wish they would have done a little differently. I wish they would have had Oliver appear at the end in the future scene. Pretty much all the main characters except him appeared. So that was kind of sad that he didn't really get a goodbye scene. After his last appearance in the crowd, as Clark rushed off to save the day. Yeah, as I said in my last video, if I had to grade it, I'd probably give it a B plus or an A minus. I'm not really sure which. It kind of teetered the line for me. Yeah, 10 years was a good run. Yeah. I mean, it's a good run for any show, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of sad not having that to watch anymore on Friday nights, because that was really the only show I ever watched. One of the last shows I really watched on TV on a regular basis. So, but yeah, I guess it's one of those things. It had to come to an end eventually, because I mean, some people have expressed the thought that maybe it should have ended well before now, but it is what it is though. Yeah, that's kind of another thing. I kind of wish. Oh yeah, that's one. I knew there was gonna be something I was gonna want to talk about, but I'm glad I thought about it. Earlier in the season, I don't know if any of you guys will remember me saying this in one of my Smallville videos, but earlier in the season, I made the prediction that Chloe was going to get killed by the end of the last episode. Well, somebody did get killed, but it wasn't Chloe. So it looks like I was wrong with that. I don't remember if I ever explained my reasoning for that, but I don't remember which episode it was. But it was the episode where Chloe puts on Dr. Fate's helmet, and she sees the future and everything. It was like the scene where she's in the little medical room talking to Clark. It was that scene I kind of used as the basis for why I thought she got killed, or I thought she would die later on. Because when after Clark rushes off, she starts tearing up and says, she says goodbye, Clark. I took that as meaning maybe if she saw that she would end up getting killed, and she was saying goodbye to her best friend or whatever. I mean that's the way I had interpreted it, but I was wrong though. So anyway, yeah, it was fun while it lasted. So I guess that's really about all I have to say right now. So thank you for watching my little review, or as I like to call it, my thoughts on video. So bad I won't ever get the chance to do this again, but yeah, I guess there's always buying the entire season on DVD later on. So I got that to look forward to, I guess. So anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.